Hi, I'm Mark Rosenzweig, editor of Chemical Processing Magazine. The lead news story in our January issue reminds me once again of the power of chemical engineering and how sometimes there can seem to be an element of alchemy in it. Researchers in Britain are developing a process to use glycerol for making hydrogen. This would offer a pair of significant benefits: providing an outlet for glycerol, a material that's a byproduct of burgeoning biodiesel manufacturing, and enabling a renewable resource to displace natural gas as a feedstock for hydrogen. Biodiesel certainly is attracting increasing interest, as we noted in our October cover story. So right now, producers in America worry about a glut of glycerol. European makers of biodiesel had voiced similar concerns, but the situation there has changed over the past few months, as plants in Europe have cut back dramatically on output because of an influx of low-cost biodiesel from America, reports one source over there. He adds that glycerol actually has risen in price in Europe. However, longer term, what to do with the glycerol remains a worry. If growth in demand of the byproduct can't keep pace with that of biodiesel, producers face the prospect of an ongoing glut that would force them to dispose of the surplus. Finding uses for the byproduct beyond those established, which are mainly in pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, could transform excess glycerol from a worthless or worse material into a valuable feedstock that actually could boost the economics of biodiesel. This has led to a number of initiatives besides the one from the University of Leeds cited in January's issue. For instance, a consortium called the Glycerol Challenge, based at the University of Cardiff in Wales, aims to develop processes for making intermediates and end products, as we noted in last June's issue. It should start operation in March. Ashland, Covington, Kentucky, and Cargill, Minneapolis, in mid-2007 formed a 50-50 joint venture whose initial thrust is to build a 65,000 metric ton per year plant at an as-yet unnamed site in Europe to convert glycerol into propylene glycol. Meanwhile, Future Fuel Chemical, Batesville, Arkansas, and Virent Energy Systems, Madison, Wisconsin, are working together on glycerol-based propylene glycol, as are, individually, both Dow, Midland, Michigan, and Huntsman, Salt Lake City, as we noted in the June issue. Granted, these efforts don't involve turning base metals into gold, but they do address an up-to-date alternative. I'd be remiss not to note that January's issue reflects some significant changes at Chemical Processing. Mike Spear, who served as our editor-at-large based in England, retired in December after a long career in technical journalism. His recollections in its final December endpoint column provide an interesting perspective on chemical engineering through the years. Replacing Mike is Sean Ottewell, another veteran of technical journalism who is based in Ireland. Among his credentials is a long stint on the editorial staff of The Chemical Engineer, the publication of the UK's Institution of Chemical Engineers, including 4 years as its editor. He recently wrote 2 stories for us on cybersecurity in September and disposable equipment in November, as well as this issue's cover story on the economic outlook and the endpoint column this issue about researchers challenging the conventional view of nucleation. Sean will regularly write roundup stories as well as the endpoint column each month. Meanwhile, Gary Fagot takes over Energy Saver from Christopher Russell, who had been writing the column since its inception. Gary is a managing principal at iCubed Energy Consulting in Houston. A chemical engineer, he has extensive experience in the field, including at major operating companies. As you'll see, Gary provides practical plant-focused insights about trimming energy consumption.